I don't know why that carries over between scenes. All right, what's up? Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, people that don't give a fuck. I'm Holiday Kirk. Welcome to the Brand Spankin New Metal Show. More specifically, welcome to a very special episode of the Brand Spankin New Metal Show, a very European-friendly episode of the Brand Spankin New Metal Show. This has been long in the making. We have tried to make this happen. I think this is our fourth time trying to make this specific interview happen, and we finally have done it. Nothing can stop us now, not even God. I am really thrilled to be bringing this band on. I hope some of you are hearing this band for the first time. This is a milestone moment in the show. This is the first time I'll have brought on a band that I heard about from the show. Someone recommended their song while we were live. Listened to it, was absolutely sold, hooked within the first 10 seconds. I'm going to play the opening track from their new album, A Digital Nowhere, right now. And if you are not similarly hooked within the first 10 seconds, then this just might not be the genre for you. Take a listen.
Yeah, 1, 2, get up!
Barely anything else needs to be said, but we're saying it. Ladies, gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Mike from Profiler. What's going on?
Yo, what's up, man? Good we're finally doing this. Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I need to give a shout straight away to BT Munchie over here in the Twitch chat. It was them that introduced me to your music. I think you sent in the song Amino. I was just floored right away. I feel very fortunate that this is all timed out the way it has with your new album dropping just a month or two later. Revert. It was Revert. Thank you.
Okay.
When I started this movement, I think I've just been, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be really honest. I've been waiting for a band like this to come along since I started this whole journey 3-4 years ago. You've got to be the most unapologetically, thoroughly new metal band of this decade so far. So it would be really weird. I actually think that you should, since I think I've said this before, the most new metal thing you can do is deny your new metal. So if you'd like to say we don't consider ourselves a new metal band, we were always just doing our own thing,
No, we do. I mean, for sure, it is a new metal album and a new metal sound. We love it, and that is definitely the intention with behind the writing of the music. But of course, to try and do it with our own spin. I think any negative reviews are like, oh, they want to sound like Deftones, and it's like, I 100% get why people say that, but we are just trying to do our own take on that.
Here's what's really exciting to me about your music is you're not just trying to sound like Deftones, because what I had sold this to my Twitter followers is this is like White Pony if White Pony had 5 other mini Maggot versions, where they made him go back and do some rapping and stuff. That's really what this sounds like to me. So you're from the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you based out of?
We were in Bristol for the last 10 years. I've just moved up to Manchester, which is in the north, which is near my drummer, who's in Leeds. So all over the place.
Right. And I noticed that there's a lot. I noticed that the UK is producing, I think, the strongest new metal bands in the world right now. It's like you guys, Post Profit, Black Coast, Split Chain. Mm-hmm. And I think that makes sense for a continent that actually sent Rollin' by Limp Bizkit to #1 on your singles charts. There's more of it in the pop music mainstream with you. Can you discuss a few more of your influences? Because I mean, people say Deftones. Well, I hear a lot of Limp Bizkit in this.
Yeah, Limp Bizkit's massive for sure. From me, I mean, a lot of the writing is done by myself. All the writing's done by myself, really. So yeah, Limp Bizkit's a huge influence. Significant Other and Hot Dog, crazy good albums. They're not underrated. I was gonna say they're underrated. A lot of people hate on Limp Bizkit.
They're so underrated.
They're so good. stupidly good, and so is Fred Durst. A lot of people think he's an idiot, but he's got a sick voice, sick flow, amazing screams, like crazy good 2 albums those. So that's a big influence. But I'd say Linkin Park, obviously, Incubus, um, System of a Down, uh, Silverchair as well. It's not really new
Silverchair,
metal.
yeah, I hear that.
Silverchair and Nirvana. Those are probably kind of influences towards that sound. But then we also like modern new metal core out of like Australia, like Alpha Wolf and Parkway Drive and Diamond Construct, things like that. So it's not just 90s new metal, but some of the newer sound that's coming out as well. We love.
Um, sorry, a little distracted there. Okay, so what I need to know though now is, accepting one band, you already know, what are some of your favorite UK native new metal bands? You guys are big. You guys into like In Me at all?
There's, yeah, In Me are cool. Yeah, for sure. As you said, like Post Profit, who are on Sharp Tone, are really sick. I can't see there's like too many out of the UK that have massively influenced us that we're necessarily aware of. Like there's bands in our scene like Static Dress, which are kind of doing like an older sound.
Amazing band.
Call it new metal. Yeah, they're insane. But they've kind of got that like old school sound, like 2000 sound to their vibe. But it's mainly the ones I mentioned. But then again, like, yeah, not trying to take anything off those bands, just loving their sound and having an attempt at that genre. But we'll probably kind of steer off. We'll keep sounding new metal, but we're gonna, we've been boxed into that a little bit now. So now we're like, no, like we want to go like more heavy and
No, please don't say that. That's not coming on the show to be like, we're not going to do new metal anymore.
No. We'll predominantly it will still sound new metal, but I think this was a very new metal record, and it will continue to be that. But we'll probably push some heavier areas as well.
Well, what I think is, I honestly think is the greatest thing about new metal is it's like, yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's not like metalcore or something where it's like you have to sound like this. You must sound like this. Like with new metal, it's like, yeah, you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So first of all, I guess there's very unlikely. Have you ever heard of the band Number One Sun?
I have not.
I hear a lot of that in your sound. They're another UK band, very small time. I'm gonna send you some of their stuff after this. I think you'd really fuck with it. But so just in regards to the record itself, first of all, I really appreciate how many get the fuck ups there are on here. That is a missing element, I think, of a lot of these younger bands. Is I think that more bands need to be as excited and invested as you guys are. And I think that is what sticks out the most about this record. Is you guys just sound really committed and just all in about it. You're not like hesitant or a little shy. How long have you guys been a group?
So totally, it's been about like 5 years. But like a couple of those years were like forming, and I was writing demos. Like Revert is like 5 years old, that song. Like I wrote it ages ago. Same with Identify. So I was like scouting for talent. But since being signed, it's like 3 years, and like 2 years since the beginning of this record. So it's all been quite a fast process, like signing and getting it out, which is great. But it hasn't really started for us still yet. We're still a baby band.
Yeah, judging by the sound of the album and how like put together and complete it is, and just how good it is, I'm assuming you're all millionaires.
No. I wish that was the case. That was the idea behind doing new metal, because I was like, well, Limp Bizkit made loads of money, so why can't we? But the industry's changed a lot, so you don't sell records in the same way, and everything's done on streaming. So I wish we were millionaires someday.
We'll get you there. Don't think about this too hard, but I will tell you what, if this album had somehow come out in like 2000, you guys would have got signed by Roadrunner, and you would have had like a $500,000 advance. Like, yeah, for sure. That's like kind of, I was on that idea when we started the band, because I was like living in the 90s, like, oh yeah, like we'll just get a massive record advance from like Interscope or something, but it's not. But I'm always telling young bands this is, sure, maybe the economic ability to do that isn't there, but you can still write songs that deserve that. You don't have to like limit yourself to just hoping, maybe we get a couple $1,000 or sell some merch. Like, you should write songs that deserve to be million sellers, to go platinum, to go to #1 and stuff. And I think that, one of the biggest things, maybe the biggest things that jumped out about your music is all the songs, they got choruses, they got hooks, they got breakdowns. Like, these are songs. These aren't just like shoegazy sort of meh, with the same sort of very like vocal styles and derivative drum sound and stuff. Like, these sound like, like Limp Bizkit, they have the fastest selling rock album of all time. They did 1 million copies of Chocolate Starfish in the United States. That's nothing to turn your nose up at.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Hybrid Theory is one of the biggest selling albums
The biggest
ever
selling
as well.
debut album of the 21st century.
Yeah, there you go. And that's like a pretty heavy record. I mean, like, phenomenally written, but like, for sure, like, I mean, that, like, I appreciate you saying that, because we feel like a lot of the songs have a lot of substance, and it feels like the type of album that could get big or be recognized with longevity, hopefully, as like, a solid album. It is a different industry now, but like, obviously, like, we would love these songs to blow up in the capacity that like Limp Bizkit did. I mean, every band would love that. But
I'm doing my part. I can't shut up about you guys.
Well, thank you so much.
I tell everyone. It's so easy to. It's like I said, like, when I was playing your song "All In Forever," is that if you have any interest in nu metal, or if you think you don't like nu metal, I think within the first 15 seconds you're just sold. It just hits really hard, really confidently. BT, I gotta give another shout out to BT Munchie over here in my chat, because he says he's trying to spread your music around as much as they can too. They're the ones that brought you guys to me, and now I'm doing the same thing. And that is how this starts, right? Is once you roll people in, and then they tell you, like, I can't stop telling people about your band.
Well, it is like that kind of currency of people enjoying it is what is super motivating, because you can feel like that as an artist, like what we're doing is really good. And then, like, a lot of people like have given us hate, like people being like, this fucking sucks, like, you're shit, stop trying to do nu metal.
I don't know that, dude, like, but the music, I can't figure out how that's possible, because the music is so put together, right? Like, that's weird. That's just, something's wrong with those people. Something in their hearts is just broken.
Yeah, I think you're always going to get haters, but like, if you're a big band, then like, you're not doing, if you're not getting hate, you're not doing something right, I think. Like, I'm sure Limp Bizkit got a huge amount of hate, and they still do.
Oh my
it doesn't
God.
matter.
It's like the most hated band in the world.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And like,
well, I think that it's really easy to pick a couple of influences and to like fly under the radar for people. Like, if you guys sort of mellowed out your sound, and by the way, do not do this, but I am just saying, if you guys like mellowed out your sound, took the turntables out, didn't do the rapping, just did sort of the like Chino light, Deftonesy singing, then everyone would just be like, oh yeah, you guys are good, and you wouldn't go anywhere. But it's because you do all those things, you'd sound like a million other bands right now. But it's because you do all those things and are so like aggressive and forward about it, is why you have some people over here that are like, you guys suck, this sucks. And you have some people over here that are like, I will personally fly your band out to LA for a show because I need to see you guys live so bad. And I think that that's a better place to be in than to just have a middle row of people that are like, yeah, they're fine.
Are there people saying that? They want to fly us to LA?
I'm saying that.
Okay.
I'm saying that.
I'd love to get over there, man. Like, 100%. Well, that means a lot. Really appreciate it. Like, we really want to get over to the States and Australia, and I'm sure that's going to happen. Got a big tour with Vended in May throughout Europe,
Very hype.
which is us like getting out on the road for the first time. But I think for like, there's no like set method for a band getting exposure, but I think it will happen. So I mean, Parkway Drive, for example, we're probably touring for like 6 to 8 years before like they properly popped off, and that's like their method. They just toured and toured and toured and toured, and we haven't really done that yet. So I think the live elements kind of reducing our exposure to an extent.
Yeah, super exciting. Do you have like a dream collaboration, dream tour?
I have dream collaborations recording wise, which I'd say first would be like with Brandon Boyd and like Mike Shinoda. I'd love to have them on an album. Fred Durst as well. Like, that would be fucking sick to get them on a track. Like,
Let's get all three of them on one song.
Yeah, maybe. That would be insane, like a new metal collab.
I
Or
don't
and
know
like
any of those. Ah, fuck. I really wish I knew those guys.
what, Mike Shinoda from fucking Linkin Park?
I think that every opportunity I've ever had with Mike, I think Mike sees that we're called the new metal agenda and is like, I'm not touching that, because
Really?
he's definitely one of those guys that's like, please don't call me new metal, don't call us new metal.
Yeah, they were like out after
Right.
your
But I have to reach him and be like, Mike, come back. Come
yeah. Oh yeah, I mean
embrace.
like he should be connected to his roots of that though, because like what a fucking genius
I
on those
know.
two.
It's like
He's an amazing artist
it's
in general, but like
it's the eternal struggle of our genre is that some of our best most of our best artists have at some point or another been like, we're not new metal, we hate new metal, we're sorry about new metal. Like, what other
yeah.
genre has to deal with that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty silly, I would say. There's probably some new metal bands that are whack, but the ones that did it like really well have got
Oh, there are a
nothing
lot
to
of
say.
whack new metal bands. But
Yeah.
but I think it's fun. I think it's fun. The thing is about our whack new metal bands is that when they're whack, they're interesting. Like Crazy Town's not good. I'm sorry. Crazy Town is not a good band, but they are a very interesting band, you know? They look ridiculous, their songs are ridiculous. They're not just bad and boring. It's like, you know, it's
It's
like
very
I'm really Shifty Shell Shock if you're out there, I'm sorry. It's like a car crash or something. Like a really big car crash. You can't help but look.
yeah, you gotta pay attention. And I guess that's like why we wanted to try and do what we're doing in new metal. Like I think there's a lot of bands that kind of like they put like a bit of turntables in just randomly. It doesn't really make sense. But I think I'm not trying to sound like smart, but like we had the idea of doing that genre like ages ago. We're like, this is the time to like do it. Like there's a gap in the market, no one's doing this. Why is no one doing this? And then like as we started releasing stuff, some people were like, oh, put a bit of turntables in here. And it's pretty fucking annoying when you don't like go all in for it. It's just like you want to like take a little bit.
I think it's super weird that rock music got to this point where it was integrating DJs, and then it said, oh, no, we shouldn't be doing that anymore. Because to me, that was like when they started using like the electric guitar. It was like just an advancement
Yeah.
of the
It's such a
idea.
fucking genius thing to put together. Like
Yeah.
turntables are so cool, hip hop's so cool, so is metal. Like if you blend it in the wrong way, it's terrible. But like, I mean, Limp Bizkit are put like the prime example. Like they and Linkin Park, it's so cool.
Yeah,
Like I don't
like you had
why.
Limp Bizkit that would do it for like sort of like a hook effects. You had Deftones that would do it for more of a like atmospheric effect. You had Linkin Park that did it for more of a hip hop or a trip hop sort of drum breaks and whatnot, that kind of effect. And then they partnered it with, of course, with samplers. And it's like so strange to me that we brought on that huge new element to expand what a rock band could do, and then, you know, a couple years go by and we're like, that was dumb, that was all dumb, don't do that anymore, put that all away.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, why did
It's
we
really
do
weird.
that?
I don't know, but I think it's definitely having a resurgence because people understand the longevity like of that music, like Hybrid Theory and Hot Dog, like still stand up today.
Well, I'm going to tell
Like
you what, I'd never interfere with your career. But you said there was a gap in the market of turntables, of having turntables. I think there's another gap in the market, though, of you guys actually hiring a DJ. Do you have a DJ in the band?
Yeah, no, I would like to do that. I'd like to go full all in with having like a live DJ and potentially even like just front manning the band and having a guitarist as well. So it's like a full like how Limp Bizkit did it and how Linkin Park did it. So that is an idea. Like getting the right guy is extremely difficult. So we're not doing it on the tour that we're gonna do in May, but that is of course an idea I want to explore.
You don't just put a
100%.
classified ad in the paper, right? Rock band seeks DJ. That would have worked great in 2000. You would have like had a million applications, but now it's a little tougher.
It's a little more difficult now. Like I've talked to a few people, there's people being open to it, but basically like it's hard for people to like take the risk. Like if we're making money and we can be like, we can pay you, then someone will be like, yeah, let's do it.
Right.
But otherwise,
Right.
like turntablist might be like a DJ and he's got his own gigs and that's how he pays his bills and stuff like that. It's difficult. It's
Oh my
tougher now.
God! Don't get me started on the economics of being in a band these days. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was like when you
It's
were in high
tough.
school or when you were younger, or 10, 20 years ago, you could all just play music together. Like you'd have time for that. Now it's like you are gonna have to pay me because
Yeah.
I don't know what to
Yeah.
tell you.
Well, it's not just about like, I mean, if we get clout, like let's say we got big, then someone would probably be like, hey, like, can I join you? And you'd be like, yeah, sure. But you need to have that exposure and size, and clout before that happens, I think.
I think you guys should hire a vinyl DJ too. Like
Mm.
I DJ, I use the little digital decks. It's fine, it works, but I do feel like having like the full setup is a real flex. You know what I mean? Like you're
Uh-huh.
not just loading MP3s into a DAW. You got the records out.
Yeah, yeah, we want like the full on thing. Like, I mean, yeah, like when you see Incubus live and he's just scratching over the top, there's no backing tracks, like it's just all raw. Like, I would love to go in that direction.
Yeah.
But then there's like things have changed as well. Like people use in-ear monitors and backing tracks, and we do like metal, like we like metalcore and heavier stuff. But I wouldn't say metalcore, I said like new metalcore, which is like new metal, but metalcore.
I was gonna
Like
ask if you guys ever heard of you guys ever listen to My Ticket Home?
I heard of, yeah. I didn't listen
Oh.
too fast. Yeah.
Okay. So, your favorite album is called Strangers Only by My Ticket Home. You don't know it yet, but it's your
Okay.
favorite album. Like, this is
I'll check it out.
we interviewed their singer, Nick Giamenti, like a year ago. And what he told us when the creation of that album, it came out in like 2013, and he said, when we did that album, we just really, really liked Limp Bizkit. Not in like an ironic way. We just thought they were really, really good. And I thought of that when I heard your album for the first time, as it was like, oh, this is a band that thinks of like Limp Bizkit or Linkin Park and takes them seriously, not like nostalgically, not ironically, just like, that's great music. We should be influenced by that.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Is Kerrang still around?
Krang's still around, yeah. I think we've had like some plays with them and been on some of their playlists and whatnot, as well as like Metal Hammer and stuff like that. But yeah, it's still a thing.
Is there still like a physical edition of Kerrang?
I don't know. I hope so.
Me
I would have
too,
thought
right?
so.
It's the best that's
Yeah.
the greatest magazine. We need to get you on the cover of Kerrang.
Yeah, that'd
That's
be
what
dope. Like,
this isn't an interview anymore, it's a strategy meeting. Like
oh, for sure, man. Like all of this stuff is my dream. Like I grew up on all this. Grew up on all of that sort of stuff. Like wanting to be on the front cover of all those mags. It just kind of like, I'm not saying that's not a thing, but like things have changed a lot. Like everything's online now. It's very different.
I know. I want you guys to have that old school success. I want you to be on top of the pops. I want you to like
Yeah.
sell out the Astoria, which doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah,
Ah.
that's what I do. I mean, we're not in the 90s. I mean, I want that to happen.
Well,
I don't know
that's
how
part of why I do this show, is because I want artists to have some kind of like I really wish I could like I had a talk show and I could bring you guys on for a performance. Here with their song On Forever, please welcome Profiler, and then bring you over for like an interview. I can't do that yet, but I could still put on my little show and have you guys on for an interview, and I think that's really cool. I do want to work out the live performance thing. It would be really neat to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, like a live streaming performance.
You know how like I don't know what the UK equivalent is. Oh my god, I'm actually gonna look it up because I really want to say Top of the Pops is like one thing, but I don't really know if I'd count that. I think there's a show called, is it called The Word?
Okay. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm just gonna Google it right in front of you. TFI
Yeah.
Friday. That's
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
what I was trying to
yeah.
think of. TFI Friday. I think that would be similar in the UK, where it would be like literally like we have a platform for this band to perform. I would love to figure out how to do something like that on this show, but I don't think it would work so well if it was like you set up your webcam and played over Zoom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know how much that would work. Like there is ways of doing live streams. I think you have to like film stuff, but have it all like connected into the webcam somehow with like a mixer or whatever. But I'm not exactly sure how that would work. But yeah, for real, man. Like I love those days of like Top of the Pops and shit. Like that's exactly what we want to do.
And I'm
It'd be
not
dope.
nostalgic for it. I just think that bands deserve those kind of opportunities. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
like it's
Totally.
dumb that we once had this big media infrastructure for giving bands a platform, and now it's just gone. And it's
Yeah.
like, make a TikTok.
Yeah,
What?
it's totally fucked up. It sucks. And as well, like considering how heavy the bands were, like Korn and Limp Bizkit. I mean, they used to tour with like fucking Ice Cube and
Yeah.
Cypress Hill and like really big mainstream acts. And it's like, why is that not happening anymore? I don't get it.
Right. And when I talk about that, it's like, oh, you're nostalgic or you like that throwback vibe. No. I want to see that opportunity for tomorrow's bands. I want to see the younger bands get to experience that level of success.
Okay.
That being said, you guys aren't like in the gutter. Things are going well. You signed a Sharp Tone.
Yeah.
People are getting into the music. Let's talk about that. Like things are, do you feel the momentum building?
Yeah, for sure. Like it can feel it's not like an anticlimax, but like you build up and you release an album, and then it's kind of like it's out. I don't know what you should expect to happen, but the support has been massively overwhelming. Obviously, I said about some negative comments, but like it's 99% like everyone's super into it, really good reviews. Yeah, fan base loving it. People buying the album, people buying the merch, loads of support, loads of like healthy, nice, kind messages. And obviously this tour, which is the first time we've been on tour off the back of COVID, which is a massive tour, which is obviously with Slipknot's kids band, Vended. I mean, some of the Slipknot kids are in that band. So that's great exposure for us. So it's good, man. It's a building thing over time. Like when I started, I was like, oh, we're going to release a record and just like blows up, because that has happened to bands before. But it seems these days that it's like a slow build over time, but it's going in the right direction.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is you're like feels like an anti-climax. Here's the thing. Okay, this just occurred to me. I really like your attitude about that, because you're in your head, you think this album should have dropped, sold like 60,000 copies first week, put you in the top 10. Like that's how you feel, right? The album deserves that.
I'd love that to happen. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's. I think that's what we should be aiming for here. But you are right. It is a slow build now. In the olden times, gotta stop bringing that up. You would have had, there would have been a campaign around this. Warner Brothers or someone would have spent a couple $100,000 getting it together. But we're all working within our own margins, so we'll do our part. Sharp Tone will do their part. You'll do your part. Speaking of which, how did the relationship with Sharp Tone come about? I'm actually not familiar with the label.
Yeah, so I mean, back on what you said, I mean, the hopes would be still that like we could attract some sort of rep from like a major label that we could work with Sharp Tone, because obviously like Deftones are on Warner, and we're like, well, if like a heavy band like that can be on a major label, like why can't a major label take notice of us and be like, oh, that's sick, like
You'll get there. You'll get there.
I think it's possible.
It's possible
if you're doing the right thing. But yeah, with Sharp Tone, basically, we were going to sign with a label called Basic Records, which was owned by Nathan, who is now the A&R for Nuclear Blast. And as he was about to sign us, then COVID kind of happened. And then during COVID, he got kind of moved over to Sharp Tone, to Nuclear Blast. And because we were already in a relationship with him, he showed our music to Sean from Sharp Tone. And they were like, yeah, let's do it. So then we just got a record deal.
BTM truly, the MVP of the day, has reminded me, Loather on Sharp Tone.
Loather on Sharp Tone, yeah. Sharp Tone have an amazing roster of incredible bands. They got Loathe, they got Polaris, Alpha Wolf, shitloads that I can't remember right now, but like a bunch of sick bands. Like they're amazing.
See, that would be like the tour. You and Loathe and Alpha Wolf.
Yep. For sure. Loathe are doing bits right now. I mean, they're on tour with Spirit Box and Architects, like big boy band.
Have you ever chatted with them? Are they fans of yours?
I don't think they are. Like, I think we got submitted for a tour with them, and they were like, no. Which is cool. Like, I've met them all.
No, it's not.
At a couple of festivals. Well, it's not ideal.
We gotta fix that.
But people love their raw heaviness, and I guess, yeah, there's quite a few people in the scene that don't really like us. I'm not saying like other bands, like I'm not saying that Loaf don't like us, but we've been submitted for tours, and the bands have been like, no, we don't want to go on tour with them. But
what the fuck?
That's like nothing on us. It's just like building that clout and then meeting these people. We've met them. They're sick dudes. Like all people in bands that we've met in festivals, like Static Dress. I've met Ollie from Static Dress quite a lot. Briefly met the Loaf guys, met the guys in Alpha Wolf. Everyone in bands is sick. Like you're all in it together. But there's different rankings. Like Loaf are like high level. and they know that. So if you're not on the same page, then there's no reason why they want to grab you on a tour. You want to be like nearly on the same level, if that makes sense. Like
That's
we
so
we think
dumb. Listen, no disrespect to Loath. I don't know how the industry game gets played. I don't know how these things work. But in my mind, wouldn't a band that's on that level want to reach down and bring a band that's lower than them up?
I want to be really careful what I say because Loaf has not said anything to us bad whatsoever. Like nothing, no bad shit. Like
And
they're
I'm not,
all
and I wasn't referring to them either. I'm just curious because I wanted to say
that's
that's how that worked.
that's basically my perception for a band like that. I'm like, if they're being asked to play on with bands like Architects and Spirit Box, that's high level shit. And we can get there 100%. But when you're there, then you have the pick of the litter because you've got the clout and the
Right.
respect, and then everyone wants to play with you.
Right.
So you kind of got to have that like hype built around you, which for some reason it hasn't popped off for us yet in that way. It will happen.
You know what people say to me is people say things to me like, "Oh, this new metal revival thing is it's like a fad," and I'm wondering if people are like listening to bands with turntables and rapping and being like, "Oh, you know."
Yeah, for sure. People are doing that. Yeah, people will be like, "This sucks."
New metal prejudice has got to end. We've got to like start a campaign. We should start a campaign to end new metal prejudice in music because this is out of line. This is absolutely out of line.
Oh, for sure. But there is a place for it. Like as I said, like but because we've done a varied album, now we can go heavy this way, we can go grunge that way, light that way. So like, but my plan now is to go more heavy, but we can always go back to what we've just done. But I want to be like, fuck you, and show that we can do like metalcore, like new metalcore, like really well, like really heavy shit. Yeah,
Stay
no,
with new
not metalcore. It was honestly the stuff we're writing right now. It's like this sounds like new metal, but it's very heavy.
Hey,
It's very heavy.
I have total faith in you guys. Whatever you feel is right, that's where you should go.
Like the track Zero is like that sort of vibe. It's quite heavy. So stuff we're writing now is more along that path, maybe a little bit heavier.
I thought it was cool that you name checked Silverchair because I was listening to them just before I got on here. Pure Massacre. I was listening to Pure Massacre. People don't know this. Silverchair were really heavy.
Yeah, they were pretty heavy. Yeah,
They were really heavy. They used to. I know they used to love Corn. They'd have Corn stickers on like their guitars and stuff. Some stuff off of the Freak record, super heavy. Freak Show record, very heavy. But they, and on the other hand, they were just as grunge as they were metal. So I think it's a cool influence, and I definitely hear it in your sound after you mentioned it.
Yeah. I wouldn't say they're like a massive influence because I actually started listening to them while recording a Digital Nowhere because the producer was like, "This kind of sounds like Silverchair," and I was like, "I know who Silverchair are," and then he tuned me on to Daniel Johns, and then I was like, "Oh my God, like, how have I not got into this?" So there's definitely no like influence there, but then since listening to them, I'm like, okay, fuck me, like this is sick. And obviously being a three-piece and blonde, people have always been like, "Oh, you're like Silverchair."
I was just thinking that too. I was like, he also looks like Daniel Johns.
Well, yeah, I wish. I mean, he's tall as fuck. I'm pretty small, but yeah, they're dope, and we love that grunge era of like Freak Show and Frog Stomp, like super sick. So it's hard to make a direction of where we go because like there's so many influences that we like, so we want to be quite broad.
So, question for you. What is a Digital Nowhere?
It's like a concept based on philosophy from Terence McKenna, who's like a mushroom philosopher dude who took loads of mushrooms in like the 70s. Is it the 70s? Maybe it's like 70s, 80s.
Don't look at me.
And he talks about like a technological singularity where we're like rapidly increasing technology and it keeps increasing the rate in which we do it into a point of like no return, which would be a technological singularity, which is where it like kind of collapses or like turns into AI. So it's about the idea of it like collapsing, and then it's like we have no technology anymore. And what does that human experience look like without any of this technology?
First off, I'd just like to say, Terence McKenna. I verified this. I was so excited. Terence McKenna is the voice in the intro of the Mudvayne album LD50. So another new metal connection. Hell yeah, we can't stop winning.
Very cool. Nice. He's also featured in a track by Northlane called Singularity.
Nice. I need to listen to them more.
That's sick. Yeah, yeah. All of their stuff's good. Personally, my favorite stuff is older stuff. Um, the album Singularity is like one of the best metalcore albums ever. Like it's insane.
I definitely feel though like the evocative idea of the digital nowhere and like how we do all exist on the internet. Like something I consider a lot is by nature of my job, sure, but I feel like this probably resonates with a lot of people. I spend the vast majority of my day on the internet. Like, you ever think about that? Like when we were kids, 10 years ago, the internet was something you went to. You had a computer in a room, you'd go to the room, sit down, you'd be on the computer. Now though,
Yeah.
for like the entirety of my day, I'm either on a computer or I'm on my phone. I'm never not on the internet. So it does feel like I live my life in a digital nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's like it's hard to like get away from, but I feel that as well. Like when you were a kid, it's like, what did you do before you had an iPhone? And it's like, what was that even like?
I know. What did we do all day?
Yeah, I know. It's so weird. Like, what did you do all day? Now you can just like get on Instagram Reels or whatever. But I think it's very unhealthy. But it's more about the idea of like, yeah, like we are in a digital, like overstimulated, fucked up time. So like, how do we reduce that into a more of like chill out
I'm of a
digitalness?
couple minds because on the one hand, the internet has brought me in touch with a lot of really cool people, a lot of really good music. I mean, here we are, right? Um,
Yeah,
and and I don't think that the new metal revival would be possible without streaming, because streaming is what let people, younger people and older people too, go back to that era, revisit those albums and say, shit, we were wrong. These are actually classics. Because if streaming wasn't around, the idea of people going out and buying Significant Other or something and checking out again, very kind of low, very low. But to check it out on streaming, you're in the car, you're at the gym or something, you're like, hey, let me check this album out again. Maybe I missed something here. That's what makes that
yeah.
possible. So I think I'm
It
a
has a
little,
massive use for sure.
yeah.
Like it's incredibly beneficial. Like no doubt about it. I just like miss the sort of nostalgic time of like watching an Oasis concert and like no one's on their phone. It's just like they're there, and now
Oh
everyone's
yeah.
like, that's still
I've
a thing. It's still there. It's not like that bad. I'm over exaggerating it, but like it's cool. It's a cool era when that wasn't a thing.
Well, you're there, but also you're forced to, or you feel really strongly about like having to generate content from the
Mm,
being there. Like
yeah.
I've seen these like incidents of people having these main character moments at shows where they yell something rude or they throw something on stage, and it's like they feel like they have to create content out of the moment. And I think part of that is because to get into the show, you probably had to pay, $200, $300, even
Hmm.
$80. And it's like, I got to get my money's worth. I can't
Yeah.
just see the band. I have to make this into something more than that. And so I don't necessarily blame like the kids for that. I think that if shows were cheaper and more accessible, maybe people wouldn't feel like they had to film the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't know what you can do in those situations. You can't be like, no phones allowed at a gig. That was something like we thought about. We were like, everybody turn your phone off when you come into the gig or something.
That'd have been
But
tough for
like,
you. Everyone turn the phone off. Do not spread the word about this band. Do not post
yeah, don't
videos of
spread it.
us.
Yeah, but then like, how did it happen back in the day? Like, no one had phones and bands were fucking massive.
There was immediate infrastructure built around it. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
good business to break bands. It was
yeah.
money, it was cash money.
I think there still is that for like top tier bands. I mean, like obviously I mentioned like Spirit Box and Architects. Like, I think they're fine. I
No,
don't think
no, no, no.
they
I think it could still be like that for a lot of bands, including yours. Labels are just scared and they don't invest. I think if a label came to you guys and were like, we're going to get you this music video treatment, we're going to put this marketing plan into place, we're going to put you on this show, this show, this show, we're going to set you up with touring support for America, touring support for Canada, touring support for fucking Brazil, who knows. If a label invested in you to that degree, and Sharptone, I know you guys are probably doing your best. You probably don't have, the millions of dollars. But if it was possible for a label to invest in you to that degree, you guys would be really successful. You'd make money. The label would make money. Everyone would get to have a good time.
You're like preaching to like the whole idea I had when I started a band, and I've been like so deflated over the
Don't
last.
do that. Don't do that. I'm
Well,
I'm
like
asking you. I'm
no,
begging
no.
you. Do not get
So
deflated about it.
I'm gonna still keep going. Like I'm super patient with what it is, but that was like my whole thing. I was like, I thought that was how it worked. But I mean, these labels don't have like a massive amount of money, and like by God, like we're so fucking grateful for everything Sharpton's done. Um, but for sure, like when you're growing up watching bands like Deftones, they're probably having hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds chucked at them. Their music's amazing, but because of that campaign, like no wonder they get really big. So if there was that infrastructure to help smaller bands out, then why wouldn't it happen to them? But it's just getting someone to invest in you and to.
I think you should stick with that attitude, though, of we deserve that. I really do, because that's how you end up there. Like, if your ultimate ambition was like, boy, oh boy, I really hope Spotify playlists us, you're setting your sights so low. Like, you guys, fuck yeah, you guys should be like, we should headline arenas. We should sell out Wembley 3 nights in a row. Why the fuck not?
Yeah, I agree. How do you think we get there, though? Is that manifestation, fucking just that belief system?
Well, it's
'Cause
not
I'd be
fair. It's not fair, but it's like, not, yeah, you got to make the great music, but you are going to, have to put the work in, chase down the opportunities, make the phone calls, send the emails. It's more work than you deserve to do. You should be able to just focus on being in a band, but we got to stay clever. We got to stay crafty. We got to make the most of our situation. But definitely don't lose that attitude. I think that you guys should totally just shoot for the moon.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, man. Honestly, that means a lot. Do you mind if I quickly go to the toilet? Because I'm dying.
Absolutely. Go. You just take the camera. Just take the camera. We'll just keep doing it. No, go. I'd like to take a moment to thank all 10 of you that are here today in Twitch. It should be more. I have the same attitude. I'm also shooting for the moon. Should be 1,000 people. But it's 1 p.m. on a Thursday. This is not when we normally do the Brand Spankin New Metal show. So if you're in chat right now, and we've got a second here while our friend uses the restroom, please make some noise. Make some noise if you're with me on this one. I don't mean to get, I think it's not fair. BT Munch, Riviera, Shot Soto, Brandon Dell. What's up, guys? It's not fair, but I do get angry. I get frustrated when I'm doing this show and people are in general Discord and they're like just having some dumb shit conversation. Like, get the fuck in here and support the future of new metal. Come on. Double SJ, what's up? I really should just close it down. I should just lock the channel. You can't chat. Put the link there. Everyone would hate that, but
Yeah. Thank you for that.
no problem. No problem. You know what happened to me on Monday? It's the first time it's ever happened. I was on the bus going to a freelance job because it's hard out here, and the bus pulls over out of middle of nowhere, stops, and the bus driver gets up and he goes, "I have to use the bathroom." And he just walks off the bus. We're all on the bus alone, and I thought to myself, I was like, how has that never happened before? I've never seen that before. All these years I've been riding the bus, never had that happen.
People need to wee.
You know what?
More often. Yeah, I agree.
And then I got off and just jogged the rest of the way. But good for him. He deserved his break. Anyway, just like you deserve your break. What can we count on coming up? What is the next single?
So obviously the album's dropped. We will release some extra singles from the recording process. I'm not exactly sure when. Still having that discussion. And then what is next is like a patient game of us working as hard as possible. Like I'm working my ass off writing as much music as I can at the moment because I'm feeling inspired, which is pretty heavy. So getting out there, playing as many shows as we fucking possibly can, getting on festivals, getting out there, writing new music, producing new music, releasing it, and getting as big as we can possibly fucking get. So people just eventually start taking notice of us.
Goddamn right. Definitely. I think this is an album. Something I had said on Twitter a couple weeks ago was people talk a lot now about how the album is dead. the death of the album. Nobody likes albums anymore. And what I had said was, it's like, no, nobody knows how to campaign an album anymore. People drop an album, maybe they're underwhelmed by the reception, then just goes poof and it disappears. Bands used to do multi-year cycles to promote an album. They'd, really invest in getting that one album through. Another band, so a band that's big in the UK, was really big in the UK. Do you like Papa Roach?
Yeah, of course.
Papa Roach, big UK phenomenon, top of the pops, baby, last resort. They put out an album in 2021 called Ego Trip, and they have been campaigning it for the last 3 years. They've been campaigning more singles, more videos. They post crazy amounts of TikToks. They post more TikToks than bands half their age, and they have had 4 number 1 songs off it at Active Rock Radio. Not the Hot 100, but that's 4 more number 1s than I've had at Active Rock Radio. Mm-hmm. So I think that, bands just need to stick with it, campaign that album.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, people like you can really help. I mean, if like even on a YouTube comment or like on a Sharp Tone page, you can be like, you can write like a paragraph, if you want, like all the stuff you said. If you say that to the label, they'll probably be like, oh shit, like fuck, like maybe we should do something.
Put me in touch. I do write about you guys. I write about you guys. I post about you guys. Tell everyone about you guys. You're on my goddamn show right now. Like,
hell yeah.
Let's connect. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Like we'd be down to have like the band back on here at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys welcome anytime if we can figure out. So like 4 p.m. is midnight for you?
4
p.m. PST. That was 3 hours from now. It's 9 p.m. It was 9 p.m. over there. I think that's like midnight.
It's like 10 o'clock now, so I can't. I'm so bad with working out the timings. What time is it there?
No, I'm bad too. We know we're bad. We know we're bad at this because the first time we tried to do this, I had botched the date. You jumped on a Sunday because I told you it was on a Sunday, and it was actually on a Monday. So we're both really bad at this. So let's not try to do this live. But we normally do this show at 4 p.m. PST on Mondays, and we draw a bigger crowd there just because that's the regular. So try to figure this out. Pass some coffee around, some energy drinks, and let's try to get the whole band on here for a Monday episode because we could do a bigger crowd then. Are you familiar with Nothing Nowhere?
No.
Oh, he's like a big rapper, singer, metalcore, new metal artist, new metal fanatic. But I was telling him about you guys last time he was on this show, and we had like 100 people watching the program then because if we do these on Mondays, we can get more people in here because everyone knows that's when these are. But as for this, though, once this is done, I'll chop it up, put it on YouTube, make sure to post it. You can revisit the interview anytime you like. I won't edit out the part where you went to the bathroom. I think that's very real. I'm going to keep that in there.
Yeah, it's a thing.
I'm going to keep that in there. So I do think that about does it. Do you have any newer bands that you want to recommend to the people?
I mean, like Thornhill from Australia. They're really cool. Pale Dusk from Japan. They're like a core band, but like they're fucking mental. Those be the 2 that I push, especially Pale Dusk. Like everyone needs to check them out. But I just drill like old new metal vibes, so not really, because I just listen to like Limp Bizkit every day.
Are you familiar with Black Coast?
No, I'm not.
That's another band that I've discovered. Talk up a lot on this show, tell other people about them. They're from the UK as well. They're in a similar spot with you guys. They're on a label. I don't actually know, they're not signed, but they just played Bloodstock Festival. They're busting their ass. They're getting the word out there. They're touring. You guys should check them out, see if you like their stuff and maybe connect. But they're very similar in that they have a great new metal influence. They're very dedicated to that. I'll pass you their info once we're off of here. But the UK new metal scene is just absolutely popping off right now. You guys, Split Chain, Post Profit. Like, I think that the UK is probably going to be the future of the new metal revival or new metal core, just because, like I've told people, you guys took new metal really seriously from the jump. Like, outside of like Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Korn, those guys, they didn't have huge pop hits over here. Those bands were pop. Those bands were pop radio over in the UK.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, check all those bands out. I mean, I know Split Chain are from Bristol, and I know Post Profit on Sharp Tone. And I'm in the
Oh, they're on
position where,
Sharp Tone.
yeah.
Sharp
Yeah,
Tone
you
is
got
the
some
label.
a couple of months ago. Yeah, they're sick, man. They're
Reach
fucking
out.
good. Sharpton is the label, like 100%. And they
Sharp
do
Tone.
have like bigger budgets, like the bigger you go. But like, believe me, I've had so many chats with them, like of this sort of conversation, like how do we get fucking big? And it's like, be patient. Like it will happen. Basically, it takes time.
Yeah, you gotta, it's true. It's true. Patience is key, but definitely never lose that ambition. That's about gonna do it for me here at the Brand Spankin' New Metal Show. I would just like to say on behalf of my genre, what I do, and myself, thank you so much for your contributions to this music. Thank you so much for the music itself. It's really inspiring to listen to and to connect with a band that has an old school amount of ambition, and I think that you guys are the future of new metal.
Ah, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. Well, we'll do you proud, and we'll keep doing that and smashing it out. Legend.
Absolutely. Anyone out there in chat, though, A Digital Nowhere by Profiler in stores now. Pick it up at your local Best Buy, Circuit City, Coconuts, Virgin Records, or just online. Do you guys have a Bandcamp?
We don't have a Bandcamp at the moment. Everything's online via our Linktree, which you can get the record off Shopify. So just go on our Instagram, follow the Linktree, and then boom.
Yep. Stream it however you need to stream it. Buy it if you can. It's the album of the fucking year as to this point. That's where the bar is. I hope a band gets to clear it, but seems unlikely. We'll see. We'll see. The challenge has been set, though. Thank you so much for joining us one more time. Thank you, Mike from Profiler.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
We will be in touch. Have a great night, actually. Good night.
Yeah. Will do. See you later, dude.
Mike from Profile, everybody. All right. I'd like to once again give a humongous thank you to everyone in Twitch right now that made this happen. Thursday, 1 p.m. Definitely a less than ideal time for you guys, but you did it. I'm proud of you. All 9 of you. And all 9 of you here on Twitch, and the one person there on YouTube who probably does not exist at all. So once again, BT Munchie, SSJ, Riviera, Shad Soda, Brandon Dell. Thank you guys all so much for tuning into this. You guys are the best. Join us later on. It's only our first of 2 streams of the day when we declare the poll results. Closing the polls. We're going to do the polls for the best new metal single of all time and do another results stream. Peace out. Keep rolling.